this is our final goodbye to YouTube.
Ryan, Shane and Steven from the popular YouTube channel Watcher have just announced their shocking decision to leave YouTube to start their own streaming service, and this news has not gone down well.
Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love.
That reflects what our content is. High-quality series in season form, beautifully organized, ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
The video was posted less than 24 hours ago, and already the channel has lost more than 40,000 subscribers. The video itself has more than 100,000 dislikes, which is more than 80%. For years, fans have followed their thrilling adventures, including Buzzfeed Unsolved and Worth It, which were two seriously popular Buzzfeed shows, which got tens of millions of views, until the three decided to leave and start their own channel called Watcher.
But eventually, it was time to move on, so we left, and joining forces to make shows seemed like the natural and horrifying decision, and thus, a little company called Watcher was born.
When they moved to Watcher, a lot of their audience, I think nearly their whole audience, moved as well and watched their new videos, and it was at a time when loads of people were leaving BuzzFeed, and it seemed like they just wanted a bit more creative freedom and ability to post what they wanted and take a bit more credit for their work. So today, everyone was shocked when they announced their plan to launch their own streaming service, separated from YouTube at the cost of $6 a month or $60 for a year.
This price.
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
There are a lot of shows that maybe didn't do phenomenally on YouTube that would be performing perfectly fine on a streamer.
But people are questioning whether this truly is a quest for creative freedom so that they can post content which doesn't have to appease advertisers, or if it's just a cash grab.
We're making something for two audiences. We're making it for the fans, all of you out there, and we're also making it to please the advertisers. It's difficult to make the stuff that we want to make and also then appeal to the advertisers as well.
At the time of posting, their channel had nearly 3 million subscribers, and popular series like Ghost and Mystery Files, which are basically like the old BuzzFeed Unsolved videos, and Puppet History, which is a new one. And presumably these videos were making them good money considering they got millions of views and often had sponsors and advertisers. Obviously, the quality of the episodes was really good, and they specified that the move was to enable them to have more creative freedom, as it sounds like they were sometimes having to modify their content to appease advertisers. And they justify this new paid model based on the fact that their production value is very high and compare it to TV show quality.
We want to make a studio or a platform where we could make unscripted television caliber content on the internet, to put things on the screen that we feel adheres to a certain level of quality that you would find on, say, a Netflix or something like that.
But I don't think I'm alone when I say I don't think it's quite up there with TV shows. And one of the highest rated Reddit posts says the same, writing, "Watcher doesn't make television caliber shows. They make high budget YouTube content." And I have to agree, because series like Too Many Spirits, in which Shane and Ryan just basically get drunk and tell ghost stories, is very YouTube-esque. It's not TV show. It's one of their most loved shows. They don't need a high budget to make content that people enjoy.
Brothers and Colonels, and of course he'll offer it to me like I offered to him last season, and now I shall place some of these kernels, these salty, salty kernels upon my bloody, bloody lips, and it will sting.
But equally, people are pointing out that they do have a Patreon and asking why they can't just post certain content that wouldn't necessarily be right fit for YouTube or for advertisers and put that behind the paywall of Patreon. And to be honest, I don't understand what content they could be making that wouldn't appease advertisers, because while not having ads on videos is quite nice, it doesn't distract from the experience, and I think for a lot of people, we'd rather watch a quick ad in order to watch a video for free than to pay and not have an ad, because it goes from the advertiser paying to me paying.
For anybody who's watched or supported us to this point, truly, thank you. The goal was always to make television caliber quality content. And not just for YouTube, but for you guys.
The decision has definitely raised eyebrows, with people suspecting the move was made for financial gain and calling them a little bit greedy, saying you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become BuzzFeed.
The advent of this streamer has allowed me to bring the gang back together.
That's true.
Adam,
Your pals.
Andrew, the old friends from Worth It, and we're going to be launching the spiritual successor, which is going to be called Travel Season.
It seems like they'll be restarting the Worth It series as well, but people are saying that they'd rather be able to watch the videos for free and making jokes that they don't want to be having to pay for Steven to be trying $1,000 burgers and gold leaf coffees. Buying gold flake covered ice cream off of BuzzFeed's money was funny, buying it off of ours is not. The success of the Watcher channel has enabled them to scale up to a whole fully fledged production team of 25 people.
From 3 to 6 to 10 to 20 to 25.
Which is brilliant, but I don't know if this move is going to help them or not because the backlash has been significant. Here's what people have to say about the announcement. We want to rely less on advertising, so you prefer to take money from your fans rather than rich companies. Nice guys, just found a new way to call me broke. We don't want higher production. This video feels like when your rich corporate boss gives you a pizza party instead of a raise, which we all know is the ultimate insult, and it does give the energy that people are finding this a very commercial business decision, and we all just want to watch Ryan and Shane and their dynamic, and them having fun. And this isn't the first time YouTubers have launched a subscription-based streaming service, with College Humor launching Dropout several years ago. And while some fans are happy to support Watcher financially, others are sad that it's unaffordable for them now, especially when you think that all these different streaming services that now exist can definitely add up if you want to have more than one. I mean, if people have Disney+, Netflix, Prime, Spotify, it's all going to add up, and people have to choose which they're going to prioritise. And unfortunately, it's a kind of a no-brainer to go for Disney+ or Netflix over Watcher. I know they like to emphasise the quality of their videos, but I personally don't know if, like, for example, their Too Many Spirits series in which they discuss ghost stories. It's good, but you can't compare it to a multi-million-dollar film or series that Netflix and Disney Plus have. They have huge production companies which sell and license brilliant TV series and films to them. So I feel like, as good as The Watcher is, where's the incentive? It's only a few dollars less per month than Netflix and Disney. People are also pointing out that there's other ways in which they could have raised money, or posted non-advertiser friendly content like on Patreon, which they do have. And it's not clear if they're going to continue with the Patreon, meaning that people will be paying for the Patreon as well as this new Watcher series. And at first people were questioning if this means that they'll be removing all their existing videos from Watcher on YouTube and moving it only to this new site, so that if you want to watch old videos you'll only be able to do that on the new site. But Ryan cleared up that this isn't true, and that we'll still be able to watch all the old videos on YouTube, which is good, but then it makes me question the value of the new site.
But beginning May 31st, you'll need to become a member of our streaming service to access full seasons and new releases.
And it's interesting because in the past they have had content behind Patreon, which you have to pay to be able to access, and maybe it's so that they get to keep more of their money because Patreon takes a cut. But surely their own website is more expensive.
Hey gang, welcome to Making Watcher. Quick note before we get into the episode. This first episode will be free on YouTube, but all subsequent episodes will be exclusive to Patreon, as well as a bunch of other fun stuff, so head on over there to check that out. But for now, enjoy Making Watcher.
Are people really going to pay for things that they can watch for literally for free on YouTube? And obviously as time goes on and they continue to create more content, there will be an incentive to get Watcher. But for this next 6 months, next year, how much more content are they going to have? People have also pointed out that if you only like one series, then you might no longer be able to watch it if paying $6 for one show isn't worth it for you. And a lot of the time, they will only post 1 or 2 episodes of a certain series in a month because it takes a long time to film. For example, especially with their Mystery and Ghost File series, meaning that you could only be paying that for a couple of episodes a month if that's all you watch. I think another thing that struck a nerve with people was the way that they all said, I hope you can follow us, and if not, it's basically a goodbye.
I guess we just hope you guys follow us this one last time.
Making it seem like fans are the ones deciding to stop watching them and stop supporting them no more, when for some people they wish they could, they just can't afford $6 a month. Especially because multiple times throughout this video, they mention that their favourite part and some of the best parts of creating Watcher was the audience and the engagement they got and the sense of community from people who watch their videos and being recognised in public.
I'm proud of the fans and the community that we've fostered.
Maybe that's the best part. The tangible effect of it is like you're out in public and people are like, hey, wow, you know, we watched a lot of your content during a tough time and it really helped us. And that's always really nice.
So it seems like a big slap in the face to people who actually are fans, because now they're essentially saying, you're not a true fan unless you're willing to pay $6 a month to be a fan of ours. And if you're not willing to pay $6 a month to subscribe to their channel, then you don't wish to see more of their good content and help them on their creation journey, which isn't true at all. It doesn't help that from the boys' own Instagrams, it looks like their lifestyle is quite nice, and people are especially disappointed in Shane, who has made eat the rich comments before.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here.
I mean, I'm excited to improve Ghost Files. The streamer's gonna give us an opportunity to really add to it from a format standpoint, but we'll also be able to take bigger swings and go international.
From the comments, it's clear that people just enjoy watching the dynamic of Shane and Ryan, and that's the part of the show that they enjoy, and it doesn't need to have these huge budgets to make a show enjoyable. And the only exception would be shows like Ghost File, where it does seem to have a high production value, and I can understand why it's expensive to film, but asking the viewers to subsidise that $100,000 production cost feels a bit unnecessary.
We're talking about an end of a season that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not sitting here complaining that is the bed we've made. Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, you know, over time, you start to realize, like, hey, maybe television shows aren't meant for YouTube.
Obviously, the film and TV industry is a huge industry, so I feel like trying to tap into that market and trying to compete with huge players isn't necessarily the best move. But when you watch TV, you expect a certain level of production, and it's going to cost more than hundreds of thousands of dollars if they want to compete properly with the film and TV industry, which they're expecting their fans to pay for.
That it would be great if we could find a way to rely less on advertising, not make it such a big part of our business.
Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making and can support the dollar amount that we're putting into each of these episodes so that we're not constantly running around trying to find sources of revenue to support the model.
People did question one comment that Shane made, where he said that you can share the subscription with your friends. And some people were theorising that maybe this was his way of saying that he doesn't agree with the model. They're accusing him of having changed his morals, considering he once said, eat the rich. Overall, it's clear this decision has not gone down well at all, and it remains to be seen how they'll respond to the backlash, and whether they'll change this new model, change the pricing structure, or if they're going to double down and continue with this new model and see how it works out for them. I personally believe it's definitely a commercial decision, and considering the backlash that I've seen online, I think a lot of people aren't going to follow them onto this streaming service. I wouldn't be surprised if a similar number follow them onto this streaming service because they're happy to pay and able to pay. So it remains to be seen how they will respond to the backlash, but I doubt they expected this response.
You'll still occasionally see us on YouTube. We're gonna post trailers for our shows there. We're gonna have the season premieres of all of our series on there.
So they will be posting one episode of each of their new series on YouTube. I guess hoping that people will watch it and love it so much that they'll be willing to pay to watch the rest of it. So it'll be interesting to see if that pays off for them.
In all seriousness, we really couldn't be more excited for you guys to join us on this next chapter, hopefully. We'd love for you guys to come along with us. But at the same time, this is our final goodbye to YouTube.
And you know, if it's our goodbye to you, I hope it's not, but if it is, I do want to say thank you for supporting us.
Maybe they're just hoping for it to lull over and just continue with their plan, and considering it probably required a significant amount of investment to set up a server and host all the episodes on this website, meaning that I only think that they will back down if they do not receive the money that they're hoping for from this venture. And it will be very interesting to see over the next few weeks and months how this all plays out. I'd love to know in the comments what you think about this, and if you think this is really going to be their long-term strategy, and if it'll pay off for them.